Welcome to Channel Japan. I'm Mai Demizu.
And I'm Makiko Tsuda.
Every week we bring you the freshest information out of Japan from a studio here in Tokyo.
From the economy to culture and even foods, if you want to find out what's happening in Japan right now, this is where you'll find it.
And these are our topics for today. As always, we have some interesting stories to share with you, so stay with us. Well, so let's get started. First up is Executive Insight. So Utsuda-san, what do we have today?
Yes, first of all, if we can take a look at this over here. What do you think this is?
Let me see. I give up. I have no clue.
Which is no surprise. It's actually inside something you've probably come across often. It's part of an electric cable. And as you can see, the middle, this orange part, is made out of copper.
I see, but I've never seen the inside of an electric cable.
Neither have I. Well, usually that's the case. But this particular cable was made by Sumitomo Electric Industries, which is the third biggest market share in the world for this product. And the company is under the Sumitomo Group, which is one of Japan's big conglomerates, or zaibatsu as we call it in Japanese. And it was founded in Osaka in 1897 as a manufacturer of copper plates, rods and wires. And their origin actually goes back even further to 1691 when the Sumitomo family began mining for copper in Ehime Prefecture.
So that means that they have a history of over 400 years, which date back to the opening of mine.
Exactly.
But do they have any other core businesses?
Well, yes. By leveraging their copper wire manufacturing technologies, the company has been developing a wide range of products, expanding into 5 major sectors, which we've written up over here. It includes car parts, IT, electronic cables, equipment, energy. So it's a wide range of products.
It's quite a vast business.
It certainly is. And we recently had an opportunity to speak to the president, Masayoshi Matsumoto. So take a look.
Executive Insight. Electricity is essential in our daily lives. It arrives in our offices and homes from power plants by way of cables. Osaka-based Sumitomo Electric Industries was founded in 1897 and is Japan's top maker of electric wires and cables. On the back of their manufacturing expertise in this area, they have expanded into 5 key sectors, including auto parts, information technology, electronics, environment and energy, and industrial materials, and operate around the world. Overseeing this vast business is the president, Masayoshi Matsumoto. We spoke with him about the growth strategy he is currently pursuing. First, we're shown a wiring harness for cars, a major growth area for the company.
This product, called a wiring harness, accounts for half of our revenue. These wiring harnesses are bundled together. There are wires to relay information, as well as to transmit electric power, and they're arranged in cars like this, allowing them to move. Wire harnesses were developed by our company, and we've drawn up a strategy to market them. Actual production is carried out by a group firm called Sumitomo Wiring Systems. We also have a research facility specializing in this product. This trinity is the foundation of our business.
Without seeing this, you wouldn't know so many of these wires are used in cars.
Bundled together, they weigh about 30 kilograms each.
30 kilograms.
Bigger ones can weigh up to 60 kilograms in total. So, we're being asked by car makers to make them as light, energy efficient, and gasoline saving as possible.
Wiring harnesses are installed throughout a car. They play the role of transmitting energy and information, much like the arteries and nerves in a human body, and are a crucial component.
I understand your company has the second biggest market share in the world for car use wire harnesses.
Cars are an area with various technological demands. We get requests from car companies not only for wiring harnesses, but a wide range of components, such as electronics, optics, and materials. They are all areas in which we have the technology. Combining that with our manufacturing expertise, we ventured into the global market. Car companies, too, expanded abroad at the same time. You could say we tagged along. In that process, we built up relationships with car makers in Europe, the United States, and South Korea, and sales grew as a result. Step by step, the business model we put in place evolved, and we cultivated close-knit relationships. I believe that was one of our successes.
Wiring harnesses are constantly evolving. Developed in response to demands from car makers is this product in which the copper conducting wires have been replaced by an aluminum alloy. By doing so, they succeeded in making it lighter by 30 to 45% and lowering the cost.
Car makers themselves are engaged in fierce competition, so they're seeking to reduce the weight by even 1 or 2 grams and the price by 1 or 2 cents. Conventional gasoline engines are being replaced by hybrid and electric ones, and soon by fuel cells. Amid this process, components also need to undergo a transformation. However, this transformation is a qualitative change. To keep pace, it's necessary to have a wide-ranging technological foundation, and that requires an accumulation of expertise built up over the years. That's what we can offer to car makers. That process is extremely important. As cars change, the components required will also change and become more complex.
Next, Mr. Matsumoto shows us the future of electric cables. He refers to it in a special way.
This is being called the cable of dreams. This is a high-temperature superconducting cable. Liquid nitrogen is inserted in this space. It's about minus 193 degrees Celsius. Cooling it results in the superconducting phenomenon.
This bismuth-type superconducting cable is the world's first long superconducting cable. It can transmit 200 times more electricity than a comparable copper cable. There is minimal power loss, and it can also contribute to cutting carbon dioxide emissions. It is being positioned as an electric cable of the future.
Won't the cost be higher than conventional cables?
The cable itself is expensive, but because there's no power loss, it can be made thinner. The smaller thickness means the cost of infrastructure, of construction, will be dramatically lower. In terms of total costs, it's said that using a high-temperature superconducting cable will be cheaper.
Your core business of electric wires and cables has evolved over the years. The materials used have changed, and so has your competitive strategy. So how do you see the current situation?
The electric cable business has changed the least compared to other departments. When you walk down the street, you see utility poles with cables inside them. There are actually 2 types: communication cables and power cables. We naturally know which is which when we look at them, but the materials used and the product itself have undergone very little change.
The company has the 3rd biggest market share globally in electric wires and cables.
We are nominally 3rd in the world. This is because demand for electric cables in Japan dried up more than 10 years ago.
Is the market saturated?
There's that, and also the drop-off in demand because of the drastic slowdown in the economy. So, the industry underwent a restructuring. Right now, power equipment makers in Japan are under heavy pressure from the Europeans. We've had to hold them off just to continue operating.
In conventional electric cables alone, the company has struggled to take on overseas manufacturers. The high-temperature superconducting cable, which has long been under development, is seen as the next growth area.
An extremely big change in our materials department was the materials that I pointed out earlier for our high-temperature superconducting cable. When making cables using materials like high-temperature superconductors, or any material for that matter, there's always resistance. So if you put in 100 units of electricity, some of that will disappear into the air as heat. Electricity is generated at a plant. By the time it gets to us end users, it's been reduced to 50 units. But by using high-temperature superconductors, an input of 100 will theoretically yield an output of 100.
So there's no loss.
There's none.
What's more, decades of R&D have resulted in a system that is quickly moving toward commercialization.
I'd like to ask you about storage batteries. Is this one of the areas that you were originally focused on?
Yes. They're referred to as redox flow and use a metallic element called vanadium with electricity accumulated inside a tank. We've been working on this from about 30 years ago.
What are its characteristics?
Vanadium is put inside a tank and gradually stores electricity. You can store as much electricity as there are tanks. And even if the system gets old and needs to be replaced, the vanadium itself can be used forever. We also believe the cost can be reduced.
Using this new storage system, full-scale trials have been launched.
This is the experimental facility for redox flow batteries. At 5 megawatt hours, these batteries have the biggest capacity in the world.
At the company's Yokohama plant, a solar power generation facility has been set up to conduct practical trials. All of the electricity is stored in redox flow batteries for use by factories and offices.
There are 15 solar panels, allowing it to provide up to 100 kilowatts of electricity. From sunrise to sunset, they track the movement of the sun.
Redox flow batteries have the potential of providing a stable supply of electricity. There is also strong interest from overseas.
This battery doesn't need to be temperature controlled. None of the components or materials is combustible. It's extremely safe and can be installed in densely populated areas. And because it's possible to set up large-scale facilities, we believe they will become more widespread in the future. The technology is quickly evolving. Battery efficiency is improving and costs are declining. We believe this sort of evolution will continue.
The business is so vast, but in the longer term, what kind of company do you want it to become?
In terms of new product development, we currently have about 5 big items. The question is how quickly we can bring them to market. Our main fields are energy, mobility, and communications. And they will be the focus of development going forward.
With environmental technologies generating interest around the world, will the company succeed in electrifying the global market?
Traditional.
Consistent.
Precise.
Speedy.
Professional. Innovative.
Polite. Quality from Japan. The best of business in Asia. SMBC. Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation.
Together, let's generate happiness. Let's raise the world to new heights. let's carry our dreams further. At the heart of society, Toshiba Technology. For a growing future, Toshiba. Together, let's create better healthcare. Let's develop a sustainable environment. Let's give children a promising tomorrow. At the heart of society, Toshiba Technology. For a growing future, Toshiba.
As the future evolves, Toyota is envisioning a more interconnected life where information and energy flow seamlessly throughout the globe. The road ahead will require diverse and eco-friendly mobility solutions. It is on this path that our small choices lead to big changes. Life. Connected. Toyota.
Sasuke, a new type of sports entertainment program conquering the world.
It's about human achievement and people's passions, and I think that relates to almost everybody.
From Japan to the world, Ninja Warrior, Tokyo Broadcasting System.
You're watching Channel Japan. Next, we show you an episode from TV Tokyo's World Business Satellite. So, Tsuda-san, what topic will we be hearing today?
Yes, today we'll be looking at the hidden business opportunities that can be found in unused or idle spaces.
Well, what exactly are those idle spaces?
Yes, this time the focus is on utilizing spaces under elevated highways and railroads. And elevated structures like these may have been built to replace existing roads and railways, or they could be constructed that way from the beginning and often leave vast empty spaces underneath.
Right.
So there are now moves to make better use of them.
I see. Well, that really sounds like a good idea, considering that numerous roads and railroads that crisscross Japan.
I agree. And hoping to profit from this type of effective land utilization are railway operators and other companies. And we have a report on how this is being done, so take a look.
This September, a new commercial facility opened below the tracks of East Japan Railway in central Tokyo. This is the former Mansei-bashi Station, which was closed 70 years ago. Inside this distinct brick structure are 11 eateries and shops bustling with customers. Meanwhile, about a 5-minute walk from the JR Nishi Ogikubo Station,
This was opened in March and houses a nursery and elderly care facility.
the space under the tracks has been reborn as a place where there's constant laughter. The children of the nursery play with the seniors of the elderly care facility, creating a cheerful community. But aren't they bothered by the vibrations and noise of the trains above? When quiet, it's noticeable, but
When they're napping, we hear it, but the children have never woken up because of the sound.
this year, East Japan Railway has been opening a number of new facilities below their elevated tracks. But why? We visited one of the construction sites.
This will open next March. It's called Anime Street, and we plan to fill it with anime-related shops.
Inside, there's a 120-meter-long space that was previously used as a storeroom and parking lot. Because of the poor lighting, it was left idle without generating any revenue. The planned Anime Street has already signed up 16 tenants, including an anime production school and a cafe where customers can watch anime.
By developing these idle spaces with a clear theme, we can add value and set rents comparable to the surrounding area.
They also hope to increase train passengers by attracting fans of the genre. But why anime? In fact, Suginami Ward, where Asagaya is located, has been promoting itself as an anime town. 70 production companies are based here, representing nearly 20% of the industry nationwide. Among the shops, one is planning to provide real-time local information over the internet.
You're going to do Nico Nico Live, right? Regularly.
They plan to do live broadcasts of talks and discussions with anime producers every day.
I believe this will promote various exchanges with fans and between producers and lead to the creation of new content.
East Japan Railway is looking to unearth more business opportunities below its tracks.
It's a question of how to come up with an attractive theme. If we can do that, it'll be possible to use idle or unused spaces more effectively.
What's behind this movement to utilize idle spaces? Experts point to the improved operational ability of railway companies.
They have a stronger sense of producing something as a business, and their capabilities have improved exceptionally compared to before.
In 2005, East Japan Railway opened Acute, a commercial facility inside Shinagawa Station. Following that success, they have been expanding the business.
Through that experience, they've built up a track record, including establishing relationships with various tenants and zoning of commercial spaces. Now they can apply that to other spaces, such as below the tracks.
Local governments are also eyeing better utilization of idle spaces.
This is a park of Meguro Ward called Meguro Sky Garden. It's about 7,000 square meters.
Completed in March, it's actually in an unusual location. Above the Ohashi Junction connecting two major expressways, to keep out the noise and exhaust gas from the expressway, walls and a ceiling have been installed. On the roof is a garden built at a cost of over $10 million by Meguro Ward. An unused space on the expressway has been transformed as part of the government's plan to build a more hospitable community.
It's beautiful. Plus, it's safe because there aren't any cars. Is it fun here?
It's a place in the city where you can experience nature.
The highest point is 35 meters. Over 25,000 people a month come to see the view from here, much more than their initial projection of 10,000.
Building a landmark type of facility like this attracts people and enlivens the area. As a result, I believe more people will spend money and contribute to Meguro Ward.
Some companies are also succeeding in squeezing revenue out of idle spaces that have been especially difficult to utilize. 8 a.m. on a Sunday, a group of women emerges from a facility below the tracks. Their destination? The banks of the Tama River.
This is to harmonize the natural rhythm within our bodies with nature outdoors, something difficult to do inside a studio.
A yoga class on the riverbank organized by a health club. They offer other outdoor programs such as walking and cycling. This club was opened in August last year. The company behind it is Odakyu Electric Railway. The facility includes a studio as well as a cafe. They have over 600 members.
I come here all the time, 4 days a week. I've made friends and it's fun. Also, I like having nature close by. It feels good.
But the development of the facility faced major concerns.
This 3,000 square meter piece of land was left unused because we didn't know what to do with it.
The space before the health club was built looked like this. Deserted and untended. They say they couldn't figure out a way to use it. When building a commercial facility, a key factor is the number of potential customers in a 2 to 3 kilometer radius. But because of the Tama River, that number is comparatively low. So they set their sights on people living outside that area who regularly jog and do activities along the river. By offering outdoor fitness programs, locker rooms and showers, they were able to capture new customers.
By building a facility to enjoy sports in an unused space, we can get people to experience the natural surroundings of the Tama River. So people who live on the line and those who don't can both enjoy the facility.
Eyeing potential business opportunities, companies and governments are starting to squeeze new value out of unused spaces.
I see. So the focus seems to be on service to accommodate the daily needs of residents.
Yes, that appears to be the case, and especially because life in Japanese cities is tend to be centered on around train stations.
Yes.
So using these places underneath elevated structures are often a very convenient location.
I see. Are there any other examples?
Yes, we have a few pictures here to show you. This is a workshop for designers of various crafts, and you can see above the ceiling that there are probably trains going back and forth. And there's another one. This is also an artist studio, and if you can see these lines over here, it's the railway tracks, so trains definitely go above them. And another one, this is a vegetable factory, and you can't see the trains, but it's actually managed by a railway operator, so you can see how various ways they're being utilized.
Very interesting. Well, just looking at the map, all you see are train lines, but you never know that there are so many different facilities just below.
You're right. So recently new 3-dimensional maps have been created. We have a picture over here to make sure that these spots aren't overlooked. And as you can see the places from all sorts of angles.
Wow. Well, that definitely makes it easier to see the small nooks and crannies of the city.
It certainly does, doesn't it? And as we've been just seeing, the image can be rotated to get different vantage points. So it's possible to see those other facilities underneath the railways and the roads. And this technology is also being used in developing city building and post-disaster plans.
I see. But with 3D printers and 3D maps like this, it seems that we're entering an age where we need to think about things and situation from multiple perspectives. Well, after the break, coffee. Stay tuned.
For Earth, for Life, Kubota.
One day has finished, and one new day has started on somewhere in the world. Kubota supports every moment somewhere out in the world. By the mechanization of agriculture, by the maintenance of water infrastructure, by the latest environmental engineering. We support a prosperous life for humans while protecting the environment of this beautiful earth. Food, water, and the environment link the world. Kubota.
Sou uma pessoa comum. Eu gosto de apreciar todos os momentos do meu dia. Quanto isso pode me motivar? Como eu posso me manter focada? Tudo ao meu redor, incluindo os momentos do meu dia a dia, é o que eu preciso para me concentrar para a minha luta de 90 minutos. Quero dar esperança às pessoas. A better life, a better world.
Panasonic.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could do this? We make things like this possible through the power of chemistry. We're the Kaiteki Company, Mitsubishi Chemical Holdings.
Asia, the engine of the global economy. Japan, a regional powerhouse. And now, direct from Japan, economic news with a global impact in Chinese, delivered by Nikkei. Read the future, lead the economy. Nikkei, Japan's leading media for business.
You're watching Channel Japan. Well, Tsuda-san, our next topic is
coffee, like you said. And in recent years, a growing number of coffee shop and cafe chains based in regional areas have been expanding into Tokyo.
Right.
And we have a map over here that shows the various chains. It's Motomachi Coffee in Gifu Prefecture, Komeda Coffee in Nagoya, and also Maruyama Coffee in Karuiza. And they're all coming and expanding into the Tokyo City area.
Right. But what's behind this trend?
Well, you could say that there's sort of a coffee boom happening in Japan, and if we can show you a little chart here, it shows coffee consumption, so it's how many cups of coffee a person has.
Right.
And it's certainly on the rise.
Well, I understand this trend because, well, you can get a cup of coffee almost anywhere now.
That's true, yes. And at the same time, though, interestingly, we have a different chart which shows the number of coffee shops and cafes.
So it's declining?
Yes, you're right. And while demand for coffee is growing, the number of coffee shops and cafes are on the decline. So one reason is the increasing competition from vending machines that sell canned coffee and also convenience stores. But some shops are able to capture customers by offering an attractive proposition. So take a look.
October. A cafe chain opened a branch in Nerima, Tokyo, its first in the Kanto region.
Good morning. This is the non-smoking section.
The seats are quickly filled with homemakers and seniors. The main draw is a $4 cup of coffee.
It's a bit expensive but tasty. The atmosphere is also good. I don't really like cramped spaces. This kind of atmosphere is nice.
There wasn't a place like this until now.
A spacious atmosphere. Their concept, a second home. There are also some unusual seats. Tatami seats, but with a twist.
This is helpful for people with kids. They won't bother others even if they move around a bit.
A cup of coffee comes with a breakfast plate of bread and a boiled egg. And this for $1 extra. One of the most well-known cafes offering breakfast specials is Nagoya-based Komeda Coffee. The relaxing interior of their shops has become a hit with seniors, and they have grown into a major chain with over 500 branches. Motomachi Coffee is also based in the regional city of Gifu. They operate mainly in the suburbs of Gifu and Aichi prefectures. The main customers here are also seniors. After pushing into Tokyo, how does the company plan to expand nationwide?
Of course, we're watching the pioneer, Komeda Coffee. While targeting seniors, we are making an effort to build shops with facilities and an atmosphere different from them.
Unlike Komeda, which heats coffee delivered from headquarters, Motomachi grinds the beans after an order is made and serves a fresh brew. Their popular waffles also get a little extra treatment. The dough is prepared in the shops and the pancakes fried as the orders come in. The teapot is heated with a candle, adding to the atmosphere.
It takes a little more time to serve, but we don't compromise in the services we offer.
They are seeking to differentiate themselves by offering a slightly upmarket experience. Service may take a little more time than Komeda, but operating margins are above 10%.
We want to differentiate ourselves through specialized products and services. Central Japan is certainly an attractive market. We're aiming to have 100 branches in 4 years.
This is a coffee expo held in Tokyo in September. Major firms to smaller outfits market high-quality specialty coffees. In one section, a large crowd gathers. It is a national competition for baristas, experts in the art of coffee making. The participants come from across the country.
Today, we have 3 different varieties of coffee from the La Bella plantation in Guatemala.
2 technical judges will be scoring them on their skills and accuracy in handling the coffee machine. The baristas will be competing against each other with the highest quality coffee beans specially chosen for this day. 4 judges evaluate factors such as the aroma, taste, and appearance.
I think you'll enjoy the wonderful sweetness as if it's coated in chocolate.
Their presentations and attention to detail are also judged.
First place goes to Maruyama Coffee Barista Hidenori Izaki.
Maruyama Coffee wins first and second place. For Mr. Izaki, it's his second time in a row to take top honors. Maruyama Coffee is a highly regarded coffee shop based in Karuizawa, Nagano Prefecture. They operate out of the cafeteria of what was once a lodge. It is a small place with about 20 seats. This customer has come all the way from Tokyo.
I like coffee, and I heard you could get a delicious cup here. I'm impressed.
What's the secret to this competition-winning coffee shop? This is their roasting factory. The president takes us to a storage facility. Inside are quality coffee beans from around the world. These green beans will be put through the roasting process.
This is from Costa Rica. This is the top lot, meaning it's their best selection.
Mr. Maruyama relies on his own eyes and feet to find quality beans. He set up an organization with a cafe owner to jointly import beans and personally established a system under which even small firms can source coffee directly from plantations. The roasting is done entirely in-house. The employees are constantly on watch, checking the condition of the beans, the intensity of the flames, and the temperature. The roasting takes 15 to 20 minutes. Pouring in hot water, they check the finish. They say by slurping it, the coffee spreads throughout the mouth like a mist, allowing them to evaluate the aroma and taste.
This is to check how well the roasting went, whether there's a problem with the aroma. It's a deep roast, so the taste is bold like chocolate.
The shop adjacent to the factory sees a steady stream of regular customers.
I stay in Karuizawa once a year and always stop by here. Are you going to buy some after you go back home? Over the internet.
High-quality coffees, referred to as specialty coffees, are packaged and displayed by region and producer. Their exclusive beans are also sold over the internet and shipped nationwide. They say individuals account for 30% of sales.
Karuizawa is one of the top tourist destinations in Japan, so people from all over the country come here. They buy and take home our coffee to drink at home, and if they like it, they order more online.
In the fall of 2012, they opened shop in Setagaya Ward, Tokyo. They chose this location because many of their online customers live in the area. The second biggest number of online customers is in Minato Ward. A second branch in Tokyo is planned for this December. They've arrived to inspect the property. This shop is bigger, with seating for 40 people. There is even an events room to hold coffee lectures.
The counter will start from that column and run along the wall. The customers will be able to see the inside of the kitchen and watch the baristas prepare the coffee.
Many companies, big and small, are coming into the market, and it's becoming more segmented. Even with specialty coffee, there's a split between high quality and standard offerings. We are eyeing the very top of specialty coffees, what they call the top of the top.
The new crop of regional coffee shops bubbling up inside of Tokyo is sure to make it more convenient for consumers to find a cup that satisfies their cravings.
Well, Tsuda-san, what's next?
Next is supermarkets. And we have a chart over here. It shows growth in supermarket sales over the past several years. And as you can see, it's been mostly flat.
Yes, I see.
And if you remember, in previous programs, we've reported on the efforts of businesses in this deflationary environment to respond to the demands of penny-pinching customers.
Well, I remember seeing how some companies are trying everything in-house, from production to sales, to keep down prices.
Yes, that's right. But now, interestingly, some shops are starting to employ a drastically contrasting strategy and are also gaining customers. And this time we report on high-end supermarkets that refuse to be drawn into a price war and are succeeding as a result. So take a look.
October. A commercial facility just completed in a residential area of Kanagawa Prefecture. Opening day.
This is the end of the queue.
One shop is especially busy. Inside, customers are looking at the unusual selection of goods. A woman picks up
Avocado and corn curry. It's fun here. There are lots of unusual things.
Lining the shelves are retort pouch curries rarely seen in other stores. The name?
A bookshelf of curry. Originally, we wanted to arrange them face out, but ran out of space.
There are about 200 variations in all. Looking at the prices, they all appear a bit on the high end. Even the few widely available curries are being sold at full price. At the drink section, products from major domestic beer makers are nowhere in sight. Instead, there are 50 varieties of imported beers. The prices here are also high. Still,
I like that they have more unusual products than a regular supermarket.
this shop is called Kitano Ace Foods Boutique. It's a new type of small-scale store set up by supermarket chain Kitano Ace.
Having only products that sell will make us the same as our competitors. We're developing stores to meet the needs of consumers who want items they can't find in supermarkets or slightly better quality goods.
Under this unique strategy, they have logged 5 straight years of revenue growth. Next year, the company plans to double the number of store openings. Such high-end supermarkets that sell goods at full price are gaining steam.
Today is the opening of the store.
This supermarket opened its doors in October. Women on their way to work stop by one after another. Although small, the store has an entire wall stocked with about 270 different types of tea. There's also a selection of 200 wines, including house wines only available here.
It's very clean and feels upscale.
This branch is a new format store of supermarket chain Seijo Ishii. It's an upmarket chain with stores mostly in cities. They've just opened their 100th branch, and sales have surpassed $500 million so far this year. This is their first time to implement a store format with the aim of developing new demand, particularly among young women.
Most customers are women, so we feel we've been able to attract our target customers of 20 to 30-year-old women.
One of the most popular items is
This is our limited premium cheesecake.
a cheesecake offered for a limited time only at this store. They say this cake actually holds the secret to the strength of the chain's business. A food factory in central Tokyo owned by Seijo Ishii. Its name, Central Kitchen.
They say the pre-prepared dishes at all of their stores are made just up ahead. Hello. It smells good. It's a nice brown color.
The cakes are all made here. In charge is a pastry chef from a well-known shop.
We work in a kitchen that's much bigger than a typical cake shop. Almost everything is done by hand.
The main ingredient is cream cheese. They procure high-quality ingredients from various regions, depending on the season.
We use this much cream cheese and quite a lot of butter. We're able to offer it at this price because of our purchasing power.
What's more,
what's this room for? We make our own ham and sausages here.
equipment usually seen at the butchers. They go as far as blending the meats on their own.
Smells good. The texture is good and juicy too. This feels like the kitchen of a restaurant. It's more a kitchen than a factory. We procured the ingredients and prepared them our way. That's how we make all of our dishes.
One of their products is Chinese-style spicy bean curd. This factory buys all the ingredients in bulk. About 80 types of dishes are delivered to all of their stores. The chain also has their own distribution center where they manage all products. By directly importing products and carrying out unified procurement, they are able to keep costs down. This logistics system isn't being used by their stores alone. This is supermarket chain Domi, which operates 34 stores in Aichi Prefecture. In one section, an unusual sign. Canned food, curry, Seijo Ishii. Among the low-priced products throughout the supermarket is the Seijo Ishii corner.
Are there products that aren't selling well? Penne, macaroni, and pasta-type products. Ah, I see. We'll replace them with seasonings that are selling well in other stores.
Wholesale is a big focus for Seijo Ishii. Domi set up the first Seijo Ishii corner 3 years ago and now has one in 10 stores. Why go out of the way to use the Seijo Ishii name?
It's the power of their brand.
What's more,
this stall is made by our company.
Shelves made especially for the corner. The reason for going this far is
to raise revenue per customer and attract more people.
Their wine section is usually stocked with bottles priced at $10 or less. Most of Seijo Ishii's products are more expensive, but they say sales are brisk. An unconventional strategy to expand sales channels.
We are always saying we want to grow our fan base. What separates us is that we believe differentiation is not about price, but being picky about products and quality. We have absolute confidence in our concept and what we're doing. That's the difference with our rivals.
The retail industry is deadlocked in price wars. High-end supermarkets following their own path may be showing the way forward.
Well, I have to admit that I'm also partial to buy something a bit more expensive if I know the quality is good.
That's true, I agree. And Seijo Ishii, the supermarket that we saw in the video, is planning to open a total of 15 new outlets within the year, and that's nearly double the pace of previous years.
Amazing, but how is it that such high-end supermarkets are able to expand in this environment?
Well, in terms of daily necessities, the demand for low prices is still strong, but because so many people have been holding back on spending, there seems to be a rebound happening, and the mindset of consumers appears to be shifting in the sense that they're willing to shell out money for quality products or things that they like. And one example is high-end wines, which are said to be selling really well.
Well, I guess we all have a desire for affordable luxuries.
Yes, that seems to be the case. And these kinds of shops tend to set up in prime locations such as train station buildings and shopping centres. And there seems to be a shift in strategy towards small-scale establishments with a higher turnover.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of Channel Japan. We have much more in store for you, so make sure to tune in next week.
Welcome to Tokyo Skytree. This is the grand panoramic view from 450 meters. Here you experience the unforgettable. enjoy, be amazed, and be awestruck. That's what Tokyo Skytree is all about. Japan's latest landmark, Tokyo Skytree.
Mitsui & Company.
Hey, look at this. They're building a huge steel plant with Kobelco technology.
Kobelco? Never heard of it.
It's Japanese. They can make iron with incredible speed. What once took 8 hours can be done in just 10 minutes.
Wow, the Japanese are incredible. The country of karate. Ha, 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 ha.
Karate has nothing to do with it.
True.
The talk of the world. Kobelco.
Mitsubishi Electric is helping to change the environment for the better around the world.
Green subway systems in India.
Green solar power systems in Singapore.
Sistem AC ramah lingkungan di Indonesia.
Eco changes for a greener tomorrow. Mitsubishi Electric.
Channel Japan. Your source for the voices and views of people and businesses across Japan. The latest reports on Japanese companies, culture, and technology. Find out what's happening on the ground. Every week, direct from Tokyo, Channel Japan.